person for me.
Hello, welcome to Conjugal Bliss. I am Priscilla Asonibare. Today we are going to be continuing our discussion on emotional maturity in marriage. Emotional maturity in marriage. We started to explain what it is, and we gave some scenarios of how emotional maturity can be displayed in marriage. So today, let's continue. Emotional maturity, as we discussed the other time, is when a spouse is able to keep calm even in the face of difficulties. Is when someone is able to control how he reacts, even when people are, angry at him. It is when you're able to control what you say and what you do. It is you being able to, keep calm, not to be easily, worked up because of what people said or do, especially your spouse. So today, let's continue. A person that is emotionally matured will not let his or her emotion to dictate what he says, what he does, and how. I remember there was a time when I was driving into the compound of our church in our previous location, previous place of assignment. And when I was driving in here, I saw one of our pastors. He was, so worked up, angry, talking at the top of his voice. It was, pastors are also human, so we have feelings that we can get hurt. So when I drove in, he was still doing all that. So I just stood back and I allowed him, and when he was done and the person that he was, trying to vent his anger on had walked away, then I just went to him and I said, "Excuse me, Pastor, do you know you can still make, yourself clear? You can still, let that person know that you are hurt, but without the anger." And he looked at me like this. I believe it dawned on him that, oh yeah, I think I could still let the person know that I'm hurt, even without having to raise my voice. And, even his eyes, it was, oh my goodness, that is not necessary. I remember there's this couple, it was even the wife that was mentioned it. Thank God that the husband is very, very emotionally matured. So she said there was a time when, she got angry and she spoke and she shouted, she screamed, she did all this. And after she was done, as I used to say, when your spouse is angry and, it's as if there's this storm that is raging, what you should do is just keep calm. So thank God for the husband. The husband just kept calm. And when she had finished ranting and blah, 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 and he saw that she was calm, he now told her, he said, "Do you need to go through all that stress just to tell me what you want to tell me?" Oh, thank God for emotional maturity. So emotional maturity will help you, even when your spouse has done something that you don't like, you'll be able to sit, calm yourself. Like sometimes I tell my clients, we even do rehearsals, in the therapy. I will say, okay, can you just sit right now and imagine you want to tell your spouse that you are hurt, you're angry, how would you say it? So if you are the one that is, you find out that you always vent your anger and you always shout, and all that, then I think, let me tell you, today, as from today, whenever you feel like doing that, just sit and count to 50. That will help you to calm yourself before talking. What are we talking about? We're talking about the fact that when you are emotionally matured, it will help you in the way you'll be able to let the people around you, especially your spouse, know that you are feeling hurt, you are not happy at whatever he or she has done, or you do dislike something. Okay, emotional maturity will help you to be able to do that in a very effective way. It means you're going to be assertive but not aggressive. There's no need for all that aggression, all because you got hurt. You can still say it and in a way that it will help your spouse to be able to understand you. Because when you are going through an aggressive way to make your hurt, your grievance, is to make your feelings known to your spouse, do you know that most times your spouse will end up not understanding what you're trying to say? He might even think you're just attacking him for nothing. But when you are calm and you look for the appropriate time to let your spouse know, okay, this and this is what you've done, and this is how I feel, it will help your spouse to be able to understand you better. Okay. A person that is emotionally matured will be ready to learn. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying. Notwithstanding your age, even if you're 80 years in that marriage, you can still learn. As I said, marriage is very dynamic. You should acknowledge that your way is not only the right way. I repeat, acknowledge that your way is not only the right way. Not too long ago, I and my husband were talking to this couple, and we discovered that the problem they have is the husband always wants everything to be done in his own way. And the wife had been putting up with him for all these years, and now that all the children are out of the house, I think the wife is now, maybe she's been tolerating him because she didn't have the economic power to take care of the children. She does not have she didn't have the finances. So now that the children are out of the house, the woman is now trying to say, no, I'm not going to take this. And the husband is wondering, where is this coming from? What happened to you? Where is the wife that I used to tell, sit down, and she would sit, stand up, and she would stand? And we were just trying to tell them that, no, you as a husband, you should not always think your way is always the right way. And another thing is, sometimes couples will argue, and they would, have quarrels. Why? Just to be able to show to the other spouse that, come, I control this relationship. Come, you have to listen to me. Now, listen, as a husband, if you have to tell your wife, do you know I am your husband? I am. No, by the time you are telling your wife, do you know I'm the husband? It means you're already losing your position. So please, don't try to argue just to show dominance, to be in charge. It is not necessary. When you do your part as the husband, you do your part as the wife, you respect each other, you trust each other, you love each other, you'll be able to continue in the relationship with peace and harmony. We're talking about emotional maturity in marriage. Another thing that emotional maturity in marriage will help you do is it will help you to invest in each other. It will help you to invest in each other. Couples who are able to help each other grow, to help each other succeed, to help each other progress in life, they have more satisfying relationship, because it means they are able to allow the other to express himself, to achieve his or her goal, and they are a support system to the spouse. It takes emotional maturity to do that. I remembered recently I saw a write-up on the Facebook, and I responded to it, which I don't normally do most times. I just let it pass, But this one, when I saw it, I said, I have to write something. And the husband was writing, he said, he discovered that his wife can do some things better than he can. And from the tone of the write-up, I saw that it's as if maybe this man is getting a little bit intimidated, by the success of the wife. So I wrote it there. I said, come. It is only a person who has a spouse who has inferiority complex, low self-esteem, that will be intimidated by the success of his or her spouse. I repeat, it is a spouse who has inferiority complex or low self-esteem who will be intimidated by the success, the progress, or even achievement of his or her spouse. Let me ask you a question. As a husband, when your wife becomes somebody, maybe she's promoted to be, now she's now the manager of a company, whose name is she bearing? She's bearing your name. She still misses your name. So anywhere she goes, she's carrying your name. As a matter of fact, people may not even remember her first name anymore. They'll be going Mrs. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. So why can't you just be happy that God has given you a wife that is not a liability? She's an asset. The same way as a wife, you should celebrate the progress, celebrate the success of your husband. Because as your husband becomes a managing director, for example, then you become what? You become the wife of a managing director. Or even if your husband becomes the president of this nation tomorrow, automatically you become the first lady. So celebrate each other, give room, allow each other to achieve the goals, to achieve their visions. Allow them to be able to make progress in life. There are sometimes that it is a spouse that would like to sabotage the effort of the other spouse. That is devilish. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. If you look at yourself now, you think, oh, maybe I've done such a thing, or I've been intimidated, or I wasn't too happy when my spouse got the promotion, then please, I want you to go and ask forgiveness from God, because that is not good at all, at all. Now imagine this is your spouse. You're supposed to invest in each other. I thank God for my husband when we got married, because he was going to the mission field, Philippines. We had to, get married quickly, and I had to get out of school. I was already in the college of education then, so I had to, get out of it and follow him to the Philippines. And before we left, my father told my husband, he said, come, I'm going to release my daughter to you because you're going to do God's work. If not, I won't have. But because you're going to do God's work, and Philippines is very far, I'll release my daughter to you so that you get married. But promise me that you will allow her to at least, finish her first degree. And my husband said, Father, no, I'm going to do that. I promise you. So when we got to the Philippines, my husband was true to his word. He allowed me to go back to school. I finished my first degree. And after I finished my first degree, he said, no, you can't wait. Go in for your master's. So, oh, hallelujah. I went in for my master's. And he has PhD in business administration. So he said, I have PhD. Why should you stop? Come on, go for your PhD program too. Oh, so I said, oh, hallelujah. So I went in for my PhD program, and to the glory of God, with the support of my husband, his encouragement, and him pushing me out, now I have doctorate degree in clinical psychology. Clinical psychology, counseling psychology as well as a double major. I have postdoctorate degree in counseling psychology with major in clinical psychology, and I specialize in marriage therapy and child psychology because that is more relevant, to us as pastors. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say is that give room, encourage, support. It takes emotional maturity to do that. There are some men that they will get married to their wives and they will say, okay, just sit there. Do nothing. Just sit there. Take care of the children, and that is all. No, don't do that. And thank God my husband allowed me to go back to school. Because while on the mission field and things got very financially, hard for us, we couldn't put our children in very good schools, because a very good school then will cost not less than $8,000 and above. So we had to homeschool them. And I was the one teaching them chemistry, I was the one teaching them physics, I was the one teaching them biology, all the subjects, until they graduated secondary school. Now imagine if he hadn't allowed me to go back to school, what we would have done. So you allowing your spouse to be able to progress in life is actually helping you and helping the next generation that you're going to live when you later leave this world. We are still talking about emotional maturity in marriage. Another thing that emotional maturity will help you to do in that marriage is you won't be judgmental. Oh yeah. There's a lot of it's bringing a lot of problems in homes when spouses are judgmental about the other. You know, when you are courting, when you are engaged, about to get married, you will spend hours together. By the time you leave, before you know it, you are calling again, or just calling to hear your voice. I just want to, get to find out how you're doing, just checking up on you. Then you now get married. After you get married, then you now become too familiar with the other. You don't communicate as you used to. Then before you know it, you start having reading meanings, mind reading. And before you know it, you're having preconceived, idea of why your spouse is doing this or why your spouse is doing this. So you that you've been, together, closely knitted before, because of the fact that you don't communicate, you're taking each other for granted. Now there's this gradual drifting away. And by the time the distance psychologically between you and your spouse is so wide, you now start having preconceived notion of why is he doing this? What are her intentions of doing this? And this will impede your ability to be able to understand your spouse. You now have spouses who are suspecting the other, spouses who, will just get angry for nothing. There's so many bottled up feelings and unsettled businesses coming into the relationship. And before you know it, it will now, instead of you getting closer by the age, as the years are going by, instead of you, getting into a better and sweeter relationship, because the more the years you spend together is supposed to make you to understand each other better. Instead of that happening, you now see that you drift away and you end up becoming strangers. But when you are emotionally matured, you will not get to that stage where you now become judgmental. You now have be putting in ideas, and you now have beginning to be suspecting your spouse for what? No, the emotional maturity that you have will help you to be able to make sure that the bond is still there. It's getting stronger and stronger. Don't be judgmental. If there are situations and circumstances you don't understand, just as the way you used to do it when you were courting, that you will ask questions. You will say, okay, what are we doing? What is this for? You talk, you plan together. That should continue in the relationship. Oh, another thing that emotional maturity will help you to have in the marriage is it will help you to have good sense of humor. Ooh, that is very, very important in marriage. Some marriages are official marriages whereby it's just the husband and the wife, the children, and that is it. Sit down, stand up. We're doing this. There's no humor, there's no laughter, there's no the good feelings not there. No, that shouldn't be. The family, instead of being a family, is like a boot camp, when we have the husband as the commandant. That shouldn't be the case. You should have fun with your spouse, laugh together, tickle each other, run after each other in the house, play pranks on the other. Don't say, we are too old for that. That is why your relationship is getting sour. You should be able to sit and laugh. You should be able to enjoy each other's company. That is it. Enjoy each other's company. When you do this, you are sort of putting in so many good memories into the relationship that will help you to have a satisfying relationship, and it will also help you to release stress. That is why some men, when they close at work, instead of them going back home, they rather want to go and visit a friend somewhere, or some want to go to the club somewhere to have fun, to release stress. instead of them going home, because they will think, "Ah, if I go home now, that woman, she'll confront me with what didn't go well, what didn't go well, what I didn't do well." Well, she will nag and she would this. And here is a man or a spouse who had been working for like 8-9 hours and coming home to have to be facing all that. The person will just and the same thing with some women. Some women, they will finish at work, and by the time they think, "Oh, it's almost closing time," there's this fear that comes on them. No, that shouldn't be. It means that the family is not the one that it should be. It is rather a house where they just retire to sleep, instead of it being a home. A home is supposed to be a comfort zone where you come to, you are yourself. All the stress you've gone through it, you come back, you're able to release it. You talk with your spouse, you laugh, you share your challenges during the day. When you have fun in the home, it even helps you to release the stress that you are going through in the day. And this will help you to have not just a satisfying and happy home, it will also help your health. It will help your health. It has been discovered, by research, that couples who have satisfying marriages, they live healthier and longer. The same thing can be yours. What are we talking about? We're talking about you to have good sense of humor. Laugh with your spouse. Enjoy each other's company. Do things that, will make the house to be lively. The house to be lively. I remembered there was this elderly woman when my husband and I visited them, just only her and the husband, they were in the house. And she was now telling me, when we saw the pictures and we were asking her, okay, about the children. And she said, that she misses those times when the children were home, and she said even the friends of the children, when they have holidays, they will come to their house, stay for long. And one day she was wondering, she asked one of her children, "How come that your friends always come to our house during holiday?" The child responded, the child told the mom that it's because they said when they come here, there's laughter, there's joy, there's happiness, it's lively, so they want to come to the house. And I know that such family, by the time the children are grown, they will always want to come back, because they see that place as a comfort zone where they have very lovely and happy memory. What are we talking about? We're talking about emotional maturity in marriage. It is very important for you to do what? To make your home lively, not boring. Overlook each other's weaknesses. Work on helping each other to get better. But while working at it to get better, also enjoy life. Enjoy life with your spouse, as the Bible says, with the wife of your youth. Enjoy life. Enjoy every day. Create good and happy memories. Very, very important. Emotional maturity is very important in the marriage. It helps you to enjoy your marriage. It helps you to even grow to loving your spouse better. It helps you to tolerate your spouse. It helps you to overlook, some of the things that your spouse would do, instead of always being touchy, sensitive, and you have to be shouting and, getting angry, get all worked up for nothing. It will affect your health, it will affect your relationship with your spouse, and ultimately will affect the children, will affect your future. Stay calm, control what you say, control the way you behave. Don't tell me that, no, I cannot just help it. I just have to let my husband know how I feel. Yes, you have to let your husband know how you feel, but how are you going about it? You have to let your wife know how you feel, but how are you going about it? No, you should be able to do it in a constructive way, not a destructive way. Because if it happens that, there's always friction between you and your spouse, before you know it, the marriage will turn sour. The reason some marriages are about to hit the rock right now is because of just this. Lack of emotional maturity, being displayed either by one of the couple or even both spouses. Emotional maturity is what? Is being able to stay calm, even mixing the thumb, being able to handle difficult people, being able to do what? To put your words and your actions under control. I pray that the Lord will help you. And please don't just listen to this, put it into practice. Assess yourself. Where do I need to improve on? What do I need to do to get better and to, be a better spouse? And I know as you put this into practice, you're going to have a happy and more harmonious relationship. Till we come your way again, same time on this same channel. God bless you.
Glad that I found you at the right time. You're running my mind.